At this time, huge changes are happening in the modeling industry. I mean, it's pretty much always changing in regards to what kind of models that are popular at the current time, so that's not news, but now it's changing at an even more rapid pace due to the introduction of AI models. Brands can now generate flawless images without the need for traditional photo shoots. But aspiring models don't need to lose hope, because despite the rise of these AI models, the industry is still growing, with real top models achieving even more of a superstar status than before. And particularly male models are more idolized than ever, and if you ask me, this is probably due to looks maxing gaining popularity. And another thing is that pretty much all models nowadays use social media to showcase not just their work, but also their personality and journey. And more than ever, a model's personal brand could be just as valuable as their look. So followers definitely help, but with that being said, there's a distinct difference between being just a Instagram model or a real runway model, with very strict requirements for the latter, and that is what we're gonna speak on today. So yeah, at some point you probably wondered if you have what it takes to be a runway model. And this is normal. People want to be models probably primarily because of the assumption that if you can model, you must be very attractive, or at least have a look that's special or sought after in a way. And to many, looking like a model equals being very good looking. But that's not always the case. You can check out my video Are You Real Life Pretty or Model Pretty to learn why. Anyway, in this video we'll dive into the specific facial features that modeling agencies are after for runway models today and take a look at what's expected in the near future. But before we get too deep, let's face it, you probably already know the modeling world is tough. To even have a shot, two basic things are required. 1. Be tall, and 2. Be extremely attractive, or at least have a unique look. So if we begin with the height. For female runway models, agencies prefer those between 5'8", which is 173 centimeters, and 6 foot, which is 183 centimeters. This ensures the clothes hang right and the silhouette looks good. When it comes to the male models and height, the industry does not favor statistical outliers to the same extent as it does with women, but you still have to be tall. The ideal is around 6'2", though there are some guys that are shorter as well. But height is just the first bottleneck. Like I said, in general you have to be really effing pretty, and preferably have striking features or at least be unique looking to some degree, and ideally all of these at the same time. But yes, there is a backdoor route to runway modeling just by having a very unique face, but if we put that to the side for now, facial attractiveness is key. It's about things like symmetry, proportions, and secondary sexual traits. Youthfulness is also a factor, with most models ranging from 16 to 30 years old. But it's much more detailed than that, and stick around as we break down the actual trends of facial characteristics in the modeling world from 2025 and onwards. Right now, sharp jawlines, hollow cheeks, and bold, low-set eyebrows are trending, especially on female models. Think Cara Delevingne or Vogue's new faces like Sara Caballero and Adèle Acol. The androgynous look, blending masculine and feminine traits, is big, and it's shaping both men's and women's fashion right now. Male models still need that strong jaw and bone structure, but softer features like fuller lips or bigger eyes are becoming more common. Uniqueness is key. The industry favors faces that stand out, not just ones that are typically pretty. For example, Alton Mason, who was the highest paid male supermodel in 2023. Also Taemin Park. While faces high in averageness score high in attractiveness studies, modeling is about impact. Agencies typically want something different these days. Average faces are generally more symmetrical, and symmetry even without averageness is a huge plus. It's rare but highly desired. In short, to make it, it's favorable if you have a few features that stand out. 1 or 2 striking features might just be your golden ticket. When researching, I went through multiple articles and interviews with modeling scouts, and pretty much all of them put an emphasis on the importance of standing out. For example, Kristen Bolt, a scouting and development agent at the acclaimed Marlin Model Management in New York City, describes it as, "Many successful models are not what is considered to be typically pretty. They tend to have an ethereal quality that is indescribable and hard to place. Or as head scout of state management puts it, if I am looking at everyone in a place full of people and then close my eyes, who am I going to remember? And puts emphasis on that it's about who leaves an impression. This can be unique facial features, beauty marks, or simply an energy that someone gives off in a photo. But I do want to say this though. Model scouts, when asked what the requirements are, love to put an emphasis on standing out. However, they also like to bring up exactly this, since this sounds more inclusive than including all the other more excluding criterias, and thereby sort of working around the reality that it is a very small percentage of people that actually ticks off all boxes and looks the part enough to be scouted as a runway model. Another big trend in modeling right now is ethnic ambiguity. Models who don't clearly fit into one ethnical background are in high demand because they can appeal to a wider audience and fit different campaigns. Take Kristina Menisov for example. She's part Ethiopian, part Kazakh, and has been on the covers of Vogue, Elle and more. Or Shaheen Shak, I'm sorry if I pronounced that completely wrong, with Pakistani and Lithuanian roots. Her look is striking and versatile as well. In a world where brands want to connect with as many people as possible, these unique blended looks are becoming a major asset. And in 2025, that's what helps a model stand out. Another trend right now is the heroin chic look that is making a comeback. It's all about ultra slim faces, pale skin and that gaunt lean look that dominated the 90s. Think Bella Hadid. She's like the poster child for this trend, though she didn't start it. Along with the return of low-rise jeans, the trend is creeping back into fashion, fueled by the rise of weight loss drugs like Ozempic. And it's even affecting male models, who now lean towards a more slender, almost fragile look. Slim faces have always been tied to attractiveness, but the levels we're seeing right now are extreme. Models often fall below the healthy BMI range, and studies show that this is far below the ideal in terms of what's considered the most attractive. This trend could obviously be problematic as it promotes unhealthy body standards, which can lead to issues like disordered eating. But as fashion trends go, it's still pushing its way into 2025 and beyond, so yeah. But this raises questions about why models, now more than ever, seem to differ from typical beauty standards. Since I've made a video on this topic already, I won't tire you out even more by covering it in this video as well, but I do want to look at the same research to point at some interesting findings. For example, some famous historical research like Cunningham's 1986 study measuring the physical and physical attractiveness tried to find out how different facial traits affected how women were perceived, mainly in regards to attractiveness, but also using other metrics. Cunningham's research indicates that features like defined cheekbones and cheekbone width are correlated with being hired and exuding a commanding presence, which is highly valued in the modeling industry. As a brand, you want your model to command a presence and show confidence, which according to the research is how these features are perceived. The study also mentioned that mature features could suggest status and encourage respect rather than condescension. This could be part of the explanation to why female models are often seen with more of these traits that are sometimes seen as more mature or even masculine. For the record, I want to say that the study suggests that a blend of both feminine, youthful and more masculine features are what's seen as most attractive, but when it comes to the modeling world, it seems to favor extremes more so than what's ideal in terms of attractiveness. Okay, so let's look at what the actual modeling scouts and some other people with insight to the fashion industry are saying about what certain features and looks that they are checking for. For example, modeling scout Kristen Bolt says that physical traits vary. I think what's really important is that the models own their physical traits. When I'm scouting, I tend to like girls that have wide eyes and a strong nose, wild hair and beautiful skin. Fashion writer Jennifer Lane also says that distinctive facial features continue to be key factors in model selection. She also mentions symmetry, clear skin, high cheekbones, full lips and captivating eyes. These are all coveted attributes that will elevate a model's appeal in both print and runway campaigns. While this is in general considered attractive, it is also in line with the androgynous trend if you're a man. As you might have picked up on, agencies prefer to work with individuals who showcase naturally clear skin. Therefore, for aspiring models, capturing digitals with minimal to no makeup is a non-negotiable requirement. Agencies prefer this to get a true sense of your look. Model scout Kirsten Bolt says that clear skin is essential when scouting, and fashion writer Jennifer Lane notes that it boosts a model's appeal. Full makeup can even get your photos ignored. And acne isn't a disqualifier, but blemish-free skin is easier to work with, so therefore it remains the norm in the modeling industry. Alright, so what's the verdict? Fashion writer Jennifer Lane says that captivating eyes are sought after, and model scout Kirsten Bolt says that she's looking for wide eyes. Jennifer Lane also says that full lips are a plus, which is, in general, considered attractive and also in line with the androgynous trend if you're a man. Masculine features are prominent in most models, both male and female, which is also in line with the androgynous trend, but if you are a female. Also, mature features such as prominent cheekbones and defined cheeks are very popular modeling traits. Although a bit far-fetched, these traits could suggest status and command respect due to their association with age and wisdom, according to Cunningham's study, which could be one of the reasons why it is so popular among models. And while these features may seem more typically mature or even masculine, they enhance facial aesthetics in both men and women. Jennifer Lane, the fashion writer, also says that distinctive facial features continue to be key factors in model selection and uses high cheekbones as an example. When it comes to the female models breaking into the industry today, many are heavier on the mature or typically masculine traits like a strong jaw, brow ridge, etc, etc. And as a male model, you need a strong base of bone structure, preferably with a long ramus, distinct brow ridge and wide cheekbones. So a unique face will get you far, as well as a face with more androgynous features, and preferably all of these at the same time, as well as being skinny and ethnically ambiguous. That is also a big plus. But anyways, that was it for this video. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Thanks for watching and bye!